Hello and welcome to The Actor and the Engineer. My name is Paul James. I'm the actor.
My name's Josh Knapp. I'm the broadcast engineer.
Here we go, Josh.
Park Chan-Wook, man. Oh, jeez. It seems like it's been forever, but I was so excited when I heard that he was coming out with another film. So,
say his name again for me.
Park Chan-Wook.
Chen, did I say it right on the video I put out?
I think so. Park Chan-Wook. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was also completely unshaved, completely unprepared, completely out of sorts, a little under the weather. And I was so excited about the movie. I had to film something and get my first impression. And you know me, I'm not, even though I'm an actor, I really want to do it. And my teeth were looking a little yellow. My skin was looking a little saggy. And I was like, but this movie is so spectacular. I feel like I've got to let people know to see it.
That's what I felt like because I was able to go to an early screening in like December 3rd or something.
Wow.
Like super, super early.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And they had a Q&A afterwards with Park Chan-Wook and with the lead actor, Lee Byung-hun. And so, yeah, it was pretty cool getting to hear them talk about it.
Was that live?
It was live, but it was either in like LA or New York at one of the Alamo Draft Houses. But
very cool that they do stuff like that.
I know. It was very neat. So, sometimes people can get a little rambly and all that stuff, but it's okay. I'm willing to sit through it and get a couple of really good nuggets out of that. But so this is based on a book, The Axe, that came out in 1997, written by Donald Westlake, and it's already been made into a movie before, like pretty much. Like the Costa Gavras, who's this like French Greek director, he's made a bunch of foreign movies that have gotten a lot of acclaim. But so, in fact, I think in this movie, I think it was dedicated to Costa Gavras or something like that. But in the credits. But anyway, so it's been made into a movie before, but Park Chan-Wook sets it in Korea. I think it was supposed to be an English language American adaptation, but I think it works in Korea, or this type of modernization and automation and AI and all that stuff is, it's definitely going to be affecting people's jobs very soon, if it hasn't already. So I think it's pretty prescient considering that this book came out in 1997, and it's still about paper though, right? Like you would think that like, oh, well, people are going to be using less paper, therefore we're not going to have to spend as much money on the people to make the paper. But it sounded like the paper that they made in this movie is very high quality and very specific and very kind of like bespoke paper for different clients and things like that. So,
and also they name a dozen different things that still use paper, one being cigarettes.
That's true. Yeah. And the fact that they still have customers, and that it takes such a high level of specificity and of like low tolerance and very high quality, that I think that you would think that that's where humans would shine, but automation and AI is still coming for those jobs. So I thought that was an interesting way that they could have made it into something else. They could have made it into like people who prepare your taxes or, something like that. But
anything really.
I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, welders and plumbers, like
or factory workers or auto.
Yes, them. But I'm just saying, like, there are certain things that are a little bit more protected than others from automation. But yeah, that's the part that I was just kind of like, wow. Even though it was based on a book that long ago, it still works in this. It just, of course, like a lot of Park Chan-Wook movies, takes things to their absurdity, and I loved that because I like his comedic sensibility and how he has this amazing way of doing things like what Paul Thomas Anderson can do, and David Fincher and all the people we talk about all the time, Stanley Kubrick, where they make things that are supposed to be deadly serious insanely funny. So, and you're able to laugh when you're not supposed to be laughing. And there are situations that, are so absurd that they move past the graveness of the situation and into hilarity. So that's what I was expecting of this movie. That's what I got. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting everything that you say. So I was wondering about that the other day. I saw Rose Byrne's film, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I'd Kick You. Yeah, have you seen it?
You. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
need to see it. Yeah.
So she won the Golden Globe for comedy musical, and I know that the Golden Globes are
They just make that up.
yeah,
Don't
yeah, a little bit because Matt Damon won for the Martian, which I could see more as a comedy than this film coming up, or If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. There was nothing comedic about it to me, and I was trying to figure out if people were laughing at that. Maybe the new generation of people watching films, something is different generationally, funny wise. Something is funny to them that might not be to me because I'm of a different generation. And I was trying to figure that out, and I was thinking, well, no, because Paul Thomas Anderson has been making films throughout my whole entire life, and Boogie Nights has some hilarious things in it, one of which is like, you know, the William H. Macy character and his wife, and that scene in the hallway of the Burt Reynolds mansion, and what he ends up doing after that. What he does after that is not funny. What happens in between that, you could find funny. And so I don't know if it's a sensibility thing. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but I was watching Jennifer Lawrence and Die My Love last night. And that's also,
Golly.
yeah,
You've just been, you've been beating yourself up.
Yes, I have.
That's why those movies, I'm just like, man, I would have to be in like a really bad, I don't know if I need to be in a bad mood or a good mood to watch it to, like, you know, do I even myself out or what? But
well, without going in,
tough sits.
They're ridiculously tough sits. And I am going through something health-wise that doesn't lend itself to being as positive as one can be, and I'll get through it. You know, there are some darkened days, and you know, I'm here, I'm smiling, I'm talking to you. I saw a great movie today, so all's well that ends well for this week, and today's a good day. But I watched those two movies. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but movies have a way of reflecting where I'm at in the world. And so maybe that's just the universe saying, you know what? Could be worse. You could be that. Could be worse. You could be that. But the point to that is that there were things in Die My Love that I thought, okay, I could see if somebody laughed out loud at that, then, or snicker or think that was funny, I could kind of understand it. But I'm wondering if there's this whole idea of a different generation's humor. Speaking of this movie, it's intentionally funny in places, and you can tell when they say we've got to get rid of mouths to feed, and the shot of the kids, and the brother holds the sister. That's hilarious.
It's like a record scratch.
Yeah.
Like it's like, what?
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's so funny. And back to what you were saying about what kind of jobs are protected, or you made a reference to maybe being protected. I
was kind of saying like welding, and I mean there's certain types of welding that are not, but like plumbers, somebody to literally come in and repair a toilet or something. It's like, I mean, people can do it on their own, sure, but
food prep.
Yeah,
preparing people's food, and that has. Well, I mean, I guess you could automate that to a degree with
they've
fast
had
food.
that like with pizzas and stuff, like a pizza robot or whatever.
Yeah, but you're not going to go into a restaurant and ask for specific things that a robot is going to understand. Okay, and then you were saying that this could be any form of job, and AI taking over. What was it in the book? Do you know?
It was paper.
It was paper. And so did he just get let go because of
because they reduced the
staff.
And I was reading about I didn't watch the movie, but I was reading about the movie, and it was like in the movie it was like a Romanian company came and bought this paper company, and like they cut 600 jobs from the company, that kind of a thing. They just consolidated down and got really lean, and then that's how they were able to move forward. And I think that the big thing about this movie that it's hard to, I mean, some people might be like, well, I got fired, I'll just get another job from somewhere else, or I'll just, change careers or whatever. But like in this movie, like he's been in this career for 20 something years, and he's risen to a level that, I mean, that's the premise of the movie. He's risen to the level that the only way for him to get a job at that level, there's only a handful of people that are qualified to even compete with him for that job. So he just moves to of course, the next logical step. I just need to eliminate everyone who could get the job and then eliminate the person who has the job.
No other choice.
No other choice. Well, but that's why when they were in so they don't pay for them to have a job, but they pay for them to have this, like, you know, sitting in the round and have some corporate lady tell them, like, it's not my fault that I lost a job. I need to pat my head. I need to tap my temples, you know, and you know, that kind of a thing. And you can, and kind of in the middle of the movie, he does kind of like start doing that and say no other choice. And they say it multiple times in different elements. I've seen it twice now. Yeah,
and different characters say it, or one other character says it at one point for sure. So don't you think in the future there are going to be companies that let AI completely take over and let the machines take over? But don't you think part of a sell for a company might be like, to sell the company, it will be like, we actually use human beings. We actually care. We don't care about the profit line. All we care about is human beings making a living. You know, I think that's going to be part of that. I think that it will be an option.
It's just like anything else. I mean, like, there's McDonald's and then there's, you know, 2-star Michelin restaurants.
Right.
They both make food.
Right.
People still eat it. That's all the same. Like, you don't have to go to a 2-star Michelin restaurant and you don't have to go to McDonald's, but both of them sate your hunger, hopefully. And so then that right there tells you that there's going to be levels to any of this stuff. But I think that the thing that got me was that he's high up in this company, and this company does such specialized things that I'm guessing that all of the other paper companies have already been automated, and then now they've come for his company, and, you know, and he's having to live with that, with the decisions of other people, obviously. But then instead of, you know, I mean, he does kind of try to move on. He gets a job like stacking boxes, and actually the boxes that he's carrying around are reams of paper.
Yeah.
Which is just like, oh no.
Genius.
He goes from like the most specialized paper to the least specialized paper, not even making it, just moving it around.
And he's lying to the guy on the phone too, because he says he's there shopping with his wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he actually does, comparing him to the one of his competitors, who is Byung Mo, is the first guy we kind of like interact with, where he's like trying to set up, I need to get rid of these guys so that I can get this job. Byung Mo he just kind of like went into a depression, and over like whatever it was, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, he just never got another job, period. And his wife was kind of starting to feel the strain, and say, like, you know, you got to get back out there. But it seems like both of the, you know, the main character and then this Byung Mo character were both kind of in a situation where they didn't want to give up the hope that, like, picking another job for Byung Mo would be like, oh, there's no hope for me to get a job in my profession anymore. And like, that's kind of like a failure type thing. That's the other thing, is that like both of those guys have won the, what was it? Pulp Man of the Year, I guess. I
love that statue or that trophy. Very nice. So cool. And it's, speaking of which, one of the notes I wrote down was, things always return in this movie. Oh. If you see it, it returns. All the way down to the dogs, all the way down to that trophy, all the way down to cigarettes. I mean, everything returns.
Yeah,
everything.
The little thing that his daughter, who plays the cello, is like drawing.
Amazing.
And you're just like, oh, that's cool. She's drawing little you know, colored pencil circles. That's neat. No, it comes back later.
It comes back later. Brilliant.
Really, we haven't even talked about his wife and his kids, but a little bit, you know. But I think that they're good kind of foils in for the comedy, because they are, you know, modern kids who are just, you know, he's the son is just kind of like, doesn't want to have anything to do with the parents, but the daughter has a particular, she has like a focus that, you know, she's focused on her cello, but then also her interactions. Did you get like it? The second time I watched it, I kind of understood what they were talking about, where the only way that she interacts with other people is by reflecting, by saying what they have said. And she's able to, they're able to use that as like, she can translate a message to her dad from her mom by just saying that, but she doesn't say things on her own. So was that a little clunky, or what did you think?
Because I realized she was on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And even the dots and the meticulous way that they lined up, even though we didn't know what they meant at the time, I was like, she's definitely on the spectrum, because I have people in my family, and I know a lot of people on the spectrum, and I know some people on the spectrum, and noise is an issue. So they wear headphones all the time. So when she was in the back of the car and she went like this.
Oh, and he grinded the gears of the car. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, exactly. And then later on, it happens later on too. I was like, yeah, she's in sensory overload. And I didn't know if she was just sensitive to noise or she was sensitive because she was on the spectrum. But no, none of that seemed clunky to me, because that gave her a character. And one of the first things I was going to say was that this is a very simple narrative. Man loses job, man tries to get job back by means that are definitely questionable, if not
also illegal. Yes.
Also illegal.
And immoral, but
Yeah. And I was not going to bring up the big immoral thing, but but it also splinters off into a bunch of different subplots, and it splinters off into a bunch of subplots with very etched out characters who have very specific things to do that eventually relate back to the main narrative, which is really hard to do, I think.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a very intricate, complicated film on some level to try to understand, like the drunkard guy that you were just talking about with his wife, and then the snake bite, and then all of this stuff, and then the gun and the fake gun, and then she's having an affair because the guy drops out the window, and you're like, why did that guy drop out the window? At first, I thought they were just going to swing by it as if it was. I thought he was their kid, and he was escaping from the house, but that comes back later too.
I thought he was their kid too.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I actually thought it was a really great idea that she mimicked people and was able to. She has an ear too, because she's a musician. Yep. I also thought it was really great that throughout most of the film she's the whole entire time, one or two notes, and they think she doesn't have the ability to go past a certain place. Also, to save money, they want to stop her lessons, but then the music director of wherever she's going to, wherever she's like, taking, no, she's a savant. She's really got it. And they're like, what? And then eventually, but it also plays into the theme of losing your identity, because the whole idea of being someplace for 25 years, you create an identity. And in this country in particular, in the United States, we are identified by what we do. It's the very first thing that we say at the beginning of this podcast, what we do, how we identify ourselves. Now, that's not who we are, but that's what we do. But that's how we identify ourselves. But when you lose that identity, you lose a part of yourself that you can't explain. You go to a dinner party or to that weird costume ball dance thing that they go to. And if somebody's like, what do you do for a living? I work at Sam's Club, which there's no disrespect for something like that. But for 25 years, he worked at this prestigious award-winning paper place. And so it must have been really hard. And his identity, once he finds his identity again through any means possible, by the way, she presents herself as a musical savant, and she presents herself as a musical genius, and her identity comes crystal clear. The wife's identity comes crystal clear later on when she digs up that tree and then lies to the son about what's in that tree.
Yeah, and I do enjoy that this wasn't just kind of like papered over, where it's like, oh, he's got a wife and kids.
Hey, get it? Like, papered over.
I get it. You're right. But
no, they're
but
integral.
the wife, his wife's character is, and she's played by Son Ye Jin. She's very good.
Beautiful
and so,
too.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. But you see her character go through an arc as well, and she has to go from being a stay-at-home mom to getting a job or multiple jobs. I think she at least has the job with the dentist, and that's a whole nother character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, like the reason why she got that job is because she knew the dentist. And that because of the dancing and all that stuff and so I thought that the beginning of the movie, which we're going to talk about in the middle of our podcast, of course, I thought that the beginning of the movie was like, he was really laying it on thick, where it's like you've got the cherry blossoms falling and you've got all of these, I mean, like it is just like right out of, it's like their version of a Norman Rockwell painting, and everybody hugs together.
They go to the center of the yard to hug. Yes.
Oh my gosh. And the sun is out.
Yeah.
And then in the rest of the movie, like the sun is only, actually it's only out in certain scenes. It's out in the interview scene where the sun's like in his eyes and he has to like,
that's awesome,
move out of the way. But it just seems like, it's just like, there's this kind of like, overcast like most of the time that he's interacting or that he's spying on, and when he starts to get in front of the first guy that he attempts to kill. That I thought was interesting, that they leaned real hard on the kind of saccharine qualities of like, he's got it all, and then of course they're able to cut it by he shaves his mustache, somewhere between that and when he loses his job.
Well, he's celebrating because he's sweating. Right. And then he looks up and the cherry blossoms and all that other stuff are falling. And he goes, fall. Like, finally. The breeze of fall. Careful what you wish for, because it's the beginning of his fall, too. Literally falling from grace. Oh. Yeah, it's really.
It's well done. And the dogs' names were great. Like, so the kids' names were Re1 and. What is it? It's Re1 and C1. Yeah.
Right. But it's pronounced differently, right? C1 is
but they still did the kind of anglicized version of the dogs' names, like Ritu and C2.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty good. A lot of the stuff that they talk about in the trailer and the stuff that you see in the trailer is him holding a flower pot over his head and getting ready to drop it on somebody. And you think that like, wow, this is, I mean, he's about to do this, man. Like, he is going to kill someone. Like, this is insane. And then he backs off. And so that's the part that I was like, he's a conflicted protagonist who is, you throw around anti-hero a lot, not you, but people throw around anti-hero around a lot. I don't consider him necessarily an anti-hero. I consider him the protagonist of the story who is doing bad things. So, that part.
Well, that's clever too, because that pot he puts down and goes, how much for this? And you think, he's feeling guilty that he was going to put it over top of somebody's head and drop it on them. So he's feeling guilty because he got caught. But no, it's not. It becomes the name of his company.
Yep.
Finger quotes.
The pepper pot.
Red pepper pot.
Red pepper. Yeah. It's like Red Pepper Paper Company.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes. And it becomes a significant thing just a little bit later on. Really super well done.
You're right. There's all these little pieces that just like that. There's no wasted space.
Here's how I know that that's true. Above and beyond everything that we've already talked about, they subtitled the dogs' names.
The dog houses.
On the dog houses. They subtitled that so you knew what it said. So it was important. It was significant. If not, they wouldn't matter what the dogs. Yeah, the dogs play a significant role in what happens to that family, though. So they're not just there to look pretty, and they are gorgeous dogs too.
Oh yeah,
and then one jumps up on her, he's so happy. I'm like, hey, pups.
But everything is like representative. I mean, those dogs are representative of the family unit. The family unit is broken when they leave, and the family unit, spoilers, the family unit is re-healed when they come back. And the daughter changes completely again. Did you notice like the music? Most of the music, obviously it's classical music when she's listening to it, but most of the music in the movie is diegetic music, is being played by somebody in the car. Somebody, she's playing it on her little speaker, which is a very nice Bluetooth speaker. That's a Bang & Olufsen.
Are you talking about the gold one that is tied up on the swing?
Yes, she has it with her everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, it's a little Bluetooth speaker, but it's just like a really, really nice one. So it's like, geez. So that's another kind of status symbol. And the the very nice stereo that the guy has, that Byung-mo has, tube amplifiers, big speakers, a nice vinyl collection, a good turntable. And that's not only is that like music that's in the film, and also the characters are experiencing it, it's used to kind of like, he's like turning up the volume of it to wake him up, number one, and number two, to just kind of like cover over the sin of what he's about to do, you know. And so thought that was good. But then of course that scene you think is going to be like it's Park Chan-wook does such a good job at this. He's like, all right, here's the scene, he's going to go in and kill somebody, it's going to be super tense. Well, it turns out to be slapstick comedy. So
really just coordinated and choreographed in such a way that it's like
like Tom and Jerry.
Yes, exactly. But it's like liquid art in motion. Like the way that they swing on the floor and the way they go underneath the thing and the way the gun goes off and they both back up. It's so choreographed, but it looks natural and it looks like Tom and Jerry. That's a really, it's
like she's crawling towards it and he grabs her right before she gets there and pulls her back.
Good.
So I didn't bring this up earlier, but I probably should have. When I went to that special screening, they gave me they gave everybody, each person, a commemorative ticket.
Very cool.
So the cool part about this ticket is it's impregnated with seeds, and there are instructions on the back on how to plant it.
Is it an apple tree?
I'm guessing not. I'm guessing it's like wildflowers or something. But it's like fill pot, lay this ticket on the soil, cover with 1/8 of an inch of soil, like keep it moist for the first 10 days, all this stuff. I'm just like, that's so cool.
I would ask for 2. One to plant, one to keep.
That's true. Yeah, they just had them on the tables. So yeah. No. They had them each on your own like table. So at Alamo Draft House. So it was just a different. Yeah, like I couldn't just like reach over and take the person because it was packed. I was in the front row. It was that like it was rough, but it was good though. And seeing it a second time, man, it was definitely worth it. So I did want to talk about the toothache. So it was interesting to me that the toothache, which we're way into spoilers now, but that the toothache was building throughout his unemployment, and the fact that even though he was going through the same thing that the Byung-mo was going through, and Byung-mo was just a perpetual drunk and all that stuff, I think that the toothache definitely had to do with his sobriety, Mansu's sobriety. So, because she's like, "You didn't drink, did you?" And because he went to the bar. And, he got money to go to the bar. The guy's like, "Oh, you should get a drink." And then he did go, but he didn't drink. He drank apple juice or whatever. So it's
apple juice.
Apple juice. Nice. So the moment that he takes his first drink, because he can't get away from it, because the guy's watching him,
right, okay, yeah,
this is close to the end, the guy who has the job that he wants shots, at Moon Paper, he goes through, and it's like the moment that he has a drink, he rips his tooth out, just rips it out. And to me, that was a representation of his sobriety, and that he's ripping, like he's actually removing that and excising it, and he's really turned a corner. Like, it's not a good corner, but he's turned a corner and he's all in. It's like his sobriety meant less to him than getting a job. So getting that job. Not getting a job, getting that job, so that his family can have their house again and the dogs can come back. Because in his mind, that was the only way for that to happen. So, but
because that's always known.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to justify, but that's always known. I have a different take on the tooth.
Okay.
It's his morality. and his morality.
He's already killed 2 people.
I know, but it progressively gets more achy.
Oh, okay.
Achy's not a word, right?
But he has a toothache before he kills the first guy, right?
He has a minor problem with his tooth in the beginning of the film, and the guy said, you better take care of that, because if you whatever, you won't have
when he
time.
still had the job.
Yeah, when he still had the job.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a morality that wasn't really bothering him at all. And as the film progressed, the tooth decayed more because his morality was decaying more. And once he yanked it out and doused the liquor, he had completely lost his morality, and it didn't matter at that point whether or not. And also that happens in a lot of films. As a matter of fact, reference back to If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. There's a symbolic hole in the ceiling that means
gets
something.
Worse.
Gets worse.
Sure.
It does get worse.
I haven't seen it. No,
Yeah.
but I've just,
and her daughter in that film has a feeding tube in her stomach. And that, of course, is a hole too. And something through the sequences of events happens. But I find it.
And you want me to see this?
I didn't say to see. Did you want go listen? Not once did I say you should see these movies. I did not. I'm very amazed that I'm not that amazed because I know you, but I'm pretty amazed that you know exactly what those films are about, just instinctually and by the trailers. Like, they're tough movies. They're I don't quite understand why I'm watching those movies. But the point to that is that there's always a visual motif that shows where a character is. And in my opinion,
out damn spot.
Damn spot. Absolutely. Although that's invisible technically.
I get. Okay.
Yeah. Because
she sees it, but it's not there, I guess.
Yeah, it was there. It gets washed away. And then when she starts to lose her mind, she can't wash it off. And I just thought the tooth was, if he had fixed it in the beginning, the movie would have never taken off. He probably wouldn't. I'm just saying symbolically, he wouldn't have lost his job. He wouldn't have had. And also, did you get the irony that she becomes a dental hygienist?
Yes.
And he could have very easily probably gone for free.
But that would have been him, like, letting that guy who is coming on to his wife, get into his mouth.
You don't find that out until later on. You find out she's a dental hygienist way before you find out that guy is interested in her at the dance. That all happens.
No, but he's interested in her because he gives her the job, number one, and because they're playing tennis, and he's like, "Oh, your husband's having a problem." He's the guy she's playing tennis with when she finds out that he loses his job. So then he's like, "Oh, well, I could totally give you a job."
See, I thought that was his perception. I didn't necessarily. So he was hitting on her. He was kind of setting her up. Really?
I think early on, like immediately, he's just kind of like, hey, that must be really hard.
He's got good taste.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Yeah.
Everybody kind of is not such a good person in this film, except for the daughter.
Yeah.
And
kids.
the son.
Gets. You could say he gets roped into it, but also like he just wants money.
He hides the phones in his little cubbyhole.
Yeah.
So
he just wants money.
He made a choice. Yeah. And that plays into something later on. That plays into something earlier. The guy who wants to buy the house, who's a real scumbag, and then plays in later on with the wife doing whatever she needs to do. And that's an indication to the audience. When she takes her bra off, I was like, what is she doing? I thought maybe she's just uncomfortable, right? And this is a stressful situation. But then when you realize why she did what she did, you're like, oh, and it should have dawned on me. Because when she's digging up the tree, you're thinking she's going to lose it. She's going to lose her mind. But we should have already known that she will go to any length to protect her family, because that's what she says about her son. She says a mother will do anything they can do to prevent their son from going to jail, even if it's just a year. So what can we do to work this out? And she takes off the coat, which is, it's really smart screenwriting.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also like, going to the basest, level of, she knew exactly what that guy wanted, and he was probably just fine looking at her without a bra on and then just been like, okay, that's good enough. I'll do whatever you want. But then her husband comes in and like is doing the same thing, but just in a different manner. Like, he doesn't have the same, he's not playing with the same deck of cards, obviously. He can't appeal to the guy sexually, so he's got to blackmail him. So.
And stand his ground, which
and I think she would have blackmailed him too. If she would, do you think she would have like actually slept with him and then told him that he would tell? which is a good thing. It's really a good
no,
thing.
I don't think she would have had to blackmail him. I think he would have given her everything she wanted.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I see where you're going.
It's a good thing that she didn't do that, because of the fact that like she wouldn't have been able to use that as blackmail, because like he'd already been having, affairs at his whatever place.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah.
And the husband stands his ground, and but he doesn't in the beginning of the film. He even lets them walk into a bedroom, his bedroom, untidy and trying to put his pants on. And I mean, that's symbolic of a man who's a little weaker than the character you see later on, because any person
he's being debased.
He is.
It's shameful or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's just rude, first of all. And second of all, it's like, who wants to see, I mean, I know people who don't care about people seeing them change, but like, it's just disrespectful. It's his home, it's his bed. And you see that represented a couple times when he's trying to put on the pants and she walks around him. He kind of looks at her like, let me turn around. And then the wife comes in and spreads the bed sheet out, or the blanket or the comforter, and puts it over to make it look all well and tidy. And he's kind of like, yeah, that's the least of our problems right now. Like, do you not see what they're doing? Yeah, that. But she just wants to sell the house.
Exactly. Well, she wants to keep the family together. She wants to, but in the house is but to her, the house doesn't mean as much as it does to him, because he grew up in the house.
Right.
So, I mean, all of that, like all the little stuff, the fact that he's like, well, I made the greenhouse, and the greenhouse is why the son gets interested in what's going on in there, and the mom has to react to that. So yeah, it's geez, there's all the
and
little
that's what that
parts. Yeah,
that's what that scumbag guy who wants to buy the house says. Oh, we'll knock that down for my putting green or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like, oh man. And then the way that he early on in the film, he talks about we're just like greatest hits. This is like no other choice greatest hits. But the way that he does the bonsai bending and the training of the bonsai trees using those wires, like that is utilized very well, and that he's got these like large gauge wires that he uses to wrap up the guy. It's like he's like, I know how to do this. I don't know how to cut up a man, with the chainsaw. So,
but there's also it's also symbolic that he is slowly having to bend those branches, and he bent them too quick, too fast, and they snapped. And that's what happened to him. He snaps. And also, we do the greatest hits of every movie we ever do, by the way. We always jump around and go to 1,000 different places. If you've seen the movie, we make sense.
But usually we're just kind of like, oh, the good part about this movie, or whatever. Like, these are the 3 good things about this movie. That seems to be like, and we kind of spend a lot of time on that. But this is like, there's like 25
too many
good things.
There's too many.
You just can't. It's hard to. There's going to be some we're going to miss. Yeah, I'm just going to forget about it.
100%. I'm thinking about 10 of them right now where I'm like, are we going to get to that? Probably not. I think the point, though, is that we talked about the symbolic themes of the film and him losing his identity. And then we just talked about 2 or 3 scenes that show that he's lost his identity, that he doesn't know where he's from. Look what he does with the gun. He takes the gun, and you're thinking that's because he doesn't want anybody to know it's missing, and that is practically why he's taking the gun. But it's also very symbolic too, that he's taking this gun that was used for something good, or at least for something chivalrous, if you will, and turns it into something plastic and uses it for something bad. And that's when the son tells the mother later on, wait, I think I saw something that I'm not sure what I saw. They don't really have a distinct conversation about it, and she's like, no way.
She's
and
like,
then
you saw what?
Yeah. And then she goes to the gun and shakes it, and she's like, wait, what? And that gives her the catalyst to go and dig up the tree.
But that gun was taken by his grandfather in World War II, I think. Or no, the Korean War. In the Korean War. It was the Korean War, I thought.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Maybe it was Vietnam. But either way, I think that there was a line in there, and I didn't notice it the first time. I did notice it the second time, talking about how he took that gun off of, like, he wrestled it away from the enemy, and I think used it to kill him. So that right there is
maybe
like,
not chivalrous.
But at the same time, it's like, it's very kind of like, he's using this to enact aggression upon someone to be able to live, to be able to survive. You know, he's using it as a tool to help him survive. That's the cool part about all this is that, like, we're talking about this like he's the good guy, and he's not the good guy. There's just like you said, it's like there's all kinds of, you know, people aren't doing the greatest things, but the two guys or the three guys that he kills, not one of them was doing anything that rose to the level of needing to be killed. You know what I mean? It's not even like, you know, oh, well, but he was cheating on his wife, or the shoe store guy, his daughter, you know, came in and he didn't give her any money. No, he gave her, he doesn't have any money and he's giving her money, you know, to go out with her friends. You know, it's like he stopped on the side of the road to help somebody with their car because, you know, because Mansu read in the resume of this guy that, oh, he was a mechanic, or, you know, had very mechanical inclinations. Even the guy at the end who's a drunk and who is living out by himself, you know, he's kind of like a sad sack because he wanted to live out there and his wife didn't, and so they just, I don't know if they got divorced or if they just are separated or whatever, but yeah, that he hasn't done anything wrong specifically associated with that. We didn't see him screw anybody over, but he still gets killed just for the fact that he has that job. Then at the end of the movie, we have this like triumphant scene at the end of the movie, which is just also funny.
I just happened to be scrolling as I was listening to everything you're saying, looking for that information, and it said that the tooth decay scene represents, that's it. That's the end of even trying to be a moral person, that once it's out, all bets are off.
Yeah, I mean, but he's already killed two people, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he doesn't have to complete the task to where he becomes the, yeah.
That is true. You're right. He does not, he could have just like been like, this is too much, you know. Yeah.
And also up to that point, although purposefully plotted out, all that stuff becomes so slapsticky in the first two murders that it's almost accidental that he kills. And he didn't kill the first guy. She did.
That's true. But he definitely killed the second guy.
100%. But it was almost accidental.
He attacked the first guy. It was not accidentally. He shot him.
Yeah, but it's, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
But either way, I think that the fact that we have such a triumphant end to this movie is, to me, hilarious.
Sadistic. Sadistic. Because you want that guy to get everything back, no matter what he did to get it. And did you notice the decaying of the house? How as the season got deeper and the winter became winter, the greenery over the house was decaying, and just the house looked in disrepair closer to the end of the film. When the dogs come back, if you look at the house, it's looking it's a little well rougher. Kept. Yeah, it's not well kept. I don't know what that means, but I just it's just a detail.
Maybe it's that the house is representing the state of the family. Is that what you're saying? Okay,
sure.
And then it's gonna get better because, you know, he has his car, and, you know, like they've got two cars now, and yeah. So, I mean,
so anybody in Korea, do not own a really cool, sophisticated looking house because it never works out. Parasite, no other choice. And Jennifer Lawrence needs to stay away from country homes in the woods.
Oh my gosh. So so this is like Mother Part 2 or whatever.
Literally.
No, I did listen to a podcast with her on it and just talking about it, and
she's very good in it.
Yeah.
Very good in it.
No, I know.
It's challenging. Yeah, you're like, I hope she doesn't get nominated because I don't want to watch it.
Speaking of that, do you have, like, I will try to get this out before the nominations. It's going to be tough, but I'll try to get it up for the nominations. So do you have, like, any kind of, like... surprises that, I mean... like left field type surprises. I know, like, Wagner Moura's, you know, gonna get nominated.
Yes.
So, you know,
how do you say his last name?
Moura.
Okay. Yeah. Wagner. He is so good looking. First of all, he is just charming, and that movie is really tough, and he's very good in it. So yeah, of course, I think my man Adam Sandler is gonna miss the list.
Yeah, I can't. I was not on board with your opinion of Jay Kelly, but
yeah,
it's okay.
Well, I mean,
Maybe I'm too cynical of a person. I don't know.
well, I know a lot of people who are tired of actors on actors movies, movies about movies. People are tired of it. People are tired of Hollywood. He's not a good person in that yet. We're supposed to. So this is definitely going to be nominated. No other choice will be nominated for Best Picture and Best Foreign Language Picture. No doubt about it.
Okay.
I believe Park Chan-Wook will be nominated for director too. I think he's gonna be the surprise person. He's not made a lot of the lists.
Okay.
But there's always like a surprise in the directors. You remember?
That's true.
They're
and
always
it's
like
Thomas Vinterberg.
Yes, Ridley Scott for Black Hawk Down, and that didn't do anything else. I can't remember the director's name for the Butterfly and the Bell, or the Bell and the Butterfly.
Oh, Julian Schnabel.
Yes,
Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Yeah.
Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Forgive my if I'm not looking right at it, I cannot remember it. I hate that about myself.
I don't want to look right at that movie either. Ugh.
No, I was mad when I saw that movie. I was like, it's exactly what it's a beautiful film.
It is. It's
well
very
done.
Well done.
And somebody was like, but it's inspirational. I was like, he blinked a book. That's inspirational, sure, but don't put me in that situation.
I don't want to blink a book specifically.
No, but it is. I think it's inspirational that that's a true story, apparently, and that actually happened. So that's amazing. The human instinct and the human will to create is strong. So no, I don't have anything out of the ordinary to go from one subject to the next, by the way, which you had just pointed out that we're doing the greatest hits of No Other Choice. Now we're going right to the Oscars. No, I think there's always going to be a surprise in one of the categories. I think it's going straight down the line for Best Actor. I don't know. Actually, I take that back because Joel Edgerton was nominated for most things for Train Dreams.
I did watch that.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a powerful, really subtly beautiful performance.
I just wish that we could have Americans in American movies.
Why?
No, I'm just joking.
Okay, I was going to say.
Because I just think it's funny that it's like Joel Edgerton's great. He's Australian. Felicity Jones is really good in that movie. And she's British. And then,
you remember I saw that movie in Ireland called Foe about the American farm with the two American...
But it was Paul Mescal and
Saoirse Ronan, both Irish, right? Because I saw it in Dublin, and I thought that was crazy. The American is seeing the Dubliners in Ireland in an American-esque film. Yeah,
I know. But and then there was there was somebody else it was oh gosh, she was in F1. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Carrie Condon.
In Train Dreams,
really good in Train Dreams.
She's so good.
Like
period.
2 scenes.
Just her presence alone there's something about her. So, because I thought she was going to win the Oscar for Banshees
of
Inisherin, yeah, because I thought that would be a way for them to celebrate that movie. I ended up being totally wrong.
Yeah.
But we also talked about Jamie Lee Curtis being a major consideration and that kind of stuff. So no big surprises. I'm interested to see what they're going to do for the top. Or for the 10 movies, that's going to be interesting.
But it might not even be 10 movies because sometimes they don't do 10 movies, right?
Yeah, but it's usually like 9. So
9, yeah.
And I think the prediction that Sinners is going to be the most nominated film of all time is a possibility, which they're saying 15 nominations.
Dang.
Which I'm a little scared of because I hope it's not also the most losses.
Yeah, because hasn't that happened in the past with what was it?
2 films.
Lord of the Rings or
no?
Like Lord of the second one or whatever.
No, Lord of the Rings swept The Return of the King. 11 nominations.
The third one did. Yes.
No, I think that all 3 won something.
Okay.
And it might have been costume,
visual effects or something.
Song, or I think she won the song. Annie Lennox won the song for her.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been 2 films in movie history. The Turning Point and The Color Purple, both nominated for 11 Oscars, both lost all 11 Oscars. Yeah. So I'm hoping Sinners doesn't top that. But don't they have that audience thing Oscar now?
That was in the Golden Globes, wasn't it? No.
But isn't there something like a box office one for the Oscars now too?
Box office was, I don't think that, I think that was for Golden Globes, but
Yeah. Well, I believe there's a stunt one this year too. I think it's the first stunt Oscar.
no.
Oh no, that doesn't come till later.
Stunts 2 years from now, but
Yeah.
the new one this year is casting, which will be interesting.
Yeah, that'll win casting.
Oh yeah, that would be.
It'll win casting because it's
Okay.
superb. And I just rewatched it. It is a masterpiece. I don't know how he made that movie work. I just don't know how he made that movie work. And there's all this online debate about whether or not the vampires were a necessity and yada yada. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. He made it work. It doesn't matter whether or not you think it, because of the social issues and the injustice and all that other stuff. But we've seen those things before. We've seen a vampire movie before. We've seen social injustice movies before, all of which should be done over and over again because those social injustices still exist. But to blend them together.
All right, take us home.
I think No Other Choice is one of the best of the year.
Me
I
too.
think it is complex yet simple. I think some of the shots are amazing. That one of the mother and son on the roof looking at their flashback through the triangle brick is amazing. There's the one of the daughter in front of the TV as she scoots, but the camera never moves.
Scoots forward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the camera never
yep.
moves, and then the mother comes. So it's just well done, and it's entertaining, and which is a strange thing to say because it's a dark movie. It's a comedy, but it's dark. And I think that having that many layers added to it instead of distracted from it. And I think a lot of filmmakers that would have distracted from it. So I think it's one of the best of the year.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely in the top first few of 2025 for me. So, and I've already seen it twice. I contemplated seeing it a third time last night, and I was like, I got other work stuff I got to do. But it's so well done. So I'm excited to see what Park Chan-Wook does next. So, all right. Well, you can check us out on the web at actorandengineer.com. You can go to facebook.com/actorandengineer. And we're on YouTube. Just search for the Actor and the Engineer podcast. We'll see you next time.